Hello everybody, I'm back again. Most people will know me from my other videos where I've been constantly told people about Wakefield Council, corrupt Wakefield Council, and how they've defrauded people and abused their power. But today I want to talk about something else, and I'll tell you why. I mean, for a long time now, like a lot of people, I watch news, but I've consumed myself with it, and I have done for a long while now. I constantly watch news, read about news, international news. I watch news channels all over the world, and I know basically a lot about what's going on everywhere in the world. I can have a discussion on most, a debate on most things. But I mean, the big topics now, aren't there? Racism, and nothing more prominent than climate change. I mean, I take my hat off to that young woman, Greta Thunberg. She's the hero. She's the person who I'd like to see a statue of. I mean, I'm going to talk about statues and everything. I have thoughts on everything, but for a long while now I've been thinking about climate change and about solving things and a lot of other things about rich people. I mean, but at this moment in time, it's got to be said, humanity is at war with itself, and it's inevitable. While that is happening, it's at war with planet. Government after government, no matter which country, have let down people, non-transparency, wars, protests that go on now. What are these people rightly so protest for a better whatever, but the protests. And why? Because government after government have let people down. That's why we're in the position we are now. Power hungry, greedy, lies, betrayal, and that's all it is. And I've been thinking about something now, as I said, for a long while, and it involves rich people at top of the tree. I mean, I'll tell you something what I watched. I mean, the disparity now between rich and poor, it's just so immense, it beggars belief. I mean, I watched something the other day, and it was that helicopter. A lot of people listening, they landed an helicopter on Mars millions of miles away, and I've been an hypocrite in the past, and I've gone, whoa, I can't believe what NASA can do, and that's great. But when you look at reality of life, I think about 400 girls that get kidnapped in Africa, taken into the jungle and you can't find them. Technology, what goes on in this world, you're telling me they couldn't have asked NASA to, satellite drone. The disparity is so great, isn't it? How do 400 girls get kidnapped? We can fly a little helicopter on Mars, but we can't find 400 girls, take them from the classroom. If it were an advanced country that happened to, like America, they'd be back in school for dinner time, and that's commonly known. But that's what we'll do. It's so individual. People are individual, countries are individual. We all have some hypocrite in us. We all have a bit of greed, and it's across the board. That's what life is. I mean, there's no... My own self, I used to... And I do now, you put your cardboard in your brown bin, you separate your waste. And in times gone by, I've looked around and thought, well, I've got 3 cars on garden pumping emissions into climate. What kind of hypocrite am I? But the thing is, with Greta Thunberg and that, I mean, these people dedicate this end to humanity for all of us. Her and thousands of people like her. And, I mean, how good is that? But the trouble is with climate change, and this is my opinion, and I'm gonna tell you what I've been thinking of. I mean, if I put a sign up now saying climate change, I think we'd all agree, most people say, yeah, have you heard that word? Yeah, I've heard that word, climate change. If I put the same thing up, climate change, and said to people, what do you really know about it? They'd be found wanting, a lot of people, until water's lapping round somebody's feet, as they say, it don't affect them, it don't matter. Businesses, governments, it's all talk. People are sick and tired of it, on and on and on. No results at all. So as I say, I thought of something, and this is what it is, and I just want people to bear with me and see what they think about this. I mean, there are people with astounding wealth in this world, and what I'm saying about this, I don't want to involve any government, but there's people with astounding wealth. Some people feel bad about the wealth. Some people feel you know, they've got so much money and they know it. But it's like, I was talking to somebody about Jeff Bezos with Amazon, and we were talking about, oh, he's putting lots of electric vans into the world, you know, oh, our van's electric. But tell me this, how many people rushed at Windsor and say, hey, that's an electric van of Jeff Bezos, Amazon, I'll shop with them. No, they don't. Most people run to Windsor and say, where's my fuck-eyed parcel? And I'm not going to apologise anymore for swearing. It's who I am. I don't direct it at any single person. I swear. Sometimes it's to make a point. But that is the top of, but with Jeff Bezos, with his electric vans, people don't rush about with electric van. They say, where's my fuck-eyed parcel? You know. And it's same with Bill Gates. Most people I talk to about Bill Gates, they'll say, is it right about if he dropped $100 on the floor, it's not worth it time picking it up because he's earned that much money? That's what Bill Gates people talk about. I know he has the Gates and, you know, Melissa and Bill Gates fund, and I know they do a lot for it, and I'm not trying to just, you know, knock what they do. Anybody who does all for charity, I'm not trying to knock that. But the trouble with every charity nearly, it's always propping something up. The end goal never gets achieved. You know, and that in itself, there's great debate on that, but it will never get to an end goal. It's always propping something up. But you tell me this, in 100 years' time, 200, who'll remember Bill Gates? Who'll remember Jeff Bezos? Who'll remember Elon Musk? Who'll remember Zuckerberg? Who'll remember Warren Buffett? These people, they won't be remembered. But I'll bet you people like Greta Thunberg will be remembered. She's a true hero. And now when we're going to get on about statues, I hadn't thought about it until they started taking them down, and I thought, yeah, statues of people, what represents something, should be for everyone. Not for the few, for everyone. A statue should be for everyone to admire. Now people like Greta Thunberg, who can't admire her? Probably the people, power-hungry people making billions of pounds who don't want her. You know, it interferes with their business, yeah, but in general, that young woman, and many like her, fighting for all of us. They are literally fighting for all of us, day in, day out. And she's right what she says, people don't listen. And with climate change, the next biggest thing for me, and what will be immense beyond belief, is the world population consuming what Earth's about. You know, there'll not be enough for everybody one day, and it will happen. There's no two ways about it. It will happen. Population will consume the Earth. It goes without saying. But what do you do about that? That's another great debate, isn't it? I mean, if you said to somebody, I mean, right, if you went round now saying to people, you know, you should only have one child or two children, how can I say that to anybody when I've been gifted with 3 children? It won't be right for me to say that. What I'm saying may be right. It may be right, and I'm sure it is, but who am I to tell people? I'm not. I'm not in a position, and I would expect criticism for that. But do we get down 1,000 years down the line and say, it's got to happen now, on spot, you cannot do this, you must do that? You know, it shouldn't work like that. It's education, education, education. If it takes 1,000 years of education to get to that, it has to be that. And where does education start? Kids, children. Because governments, they're just tech piss. People get nowhere really. As I say, power hungry, greed. You know, they're all there to help, but do they help, really? Look at the situation we're in. Look at the chaotic world. It's just chaotic. It is really chaotic. And as I say, it's all about, it's education. It's the people down the line who are going to suffer. And you know, you hear it all the time, don't you? It's future generations, and you think, oh yeah, yeah. But it really is. And where do we start like that? So we've got to start now. Because it's happening now. 1,000 years down the line, people need to be walking back with, you know, really, I'm going to have a child, and that because Years and years of education have said it's the right thing to do. I'm not going to have nobody come up to me and say, you better not this, you better not that. People have to be educated on climate, on everything, on food resources, everything. And here's what I am going to propose now. You can bear with me with this, because I think it would end up the biggest and best thing that's ever happened to this world. If this video goes off, I'll follow on and there'll be a number 2 to it. And as I said, bear with me with this, because I think we all want new heroes and we all want something to happen in this world for the good, greater good, for humanity, for Earth, because we all share one common thing. Every human being, this globe is our own. It's his home. Everybody has that same right to say that it's his own. I know it don't work out like that. There's people with so much land, there's people with so much money, there's so many things, but it's his home. It's home to everyone, and it always will be. Every human being. So here's what I'm thinking. No heroes, modern day heroes. And I am suggesting this. The top 5 or maybe 10 super billionaires: Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Buffett, Jeff Bezos, you know, these others. You know, I'm saying the top 10 billionaires, they have vast amounts of wealth and brains, and you know, they can work logistics of things out. They are so good at what they do. But I believe there's a greater purpose for them people and for the money they have. I really do. And I just think they've never seen it yet. I think there's a far greater purpose for them. I mean, I know they all do charitable things and that's, as I say, that's good. I'm not knocking it. But there's something far greater what I think they can do. And this is what it is. I would like to see top billionaires build 250 ships. And I would like to see them, firstly, all these billionaires come together as one and sail in the same direction as one. Not with any government need for no government help at all. Come together and build 250 ships. These ships, and bear with me, these ships are going to be called Education Explorer 1, 2, right up to 250, capable of taking children to Arctic, round Maldives, to all places where they can feel and see climate change. Not just hear about it, feel it, see it, learn about it. 250 ships that are capable, each one, are capable of carrying 100 children, 100 children on each ship. And they set voyage 1 month at a time and back. But that month is spent on education about climate change, world poverty, eat food, everything you can mention. It is just a learning process. Thousands of children from all over the world, every corner of the world, from the poor, and I'd like to see 14 to 16 year olds go. I say that because I think they're in the greatest start of learning capacity. But these ships are to be built capable of crossing any ocean and basically taking kids into Arctic, into polar regions, round places where climate affects everybody. And they have all got one common goal. They're all doing the same. 100 Russian kids, 100 American, 100 Indonesian, Australian, British, everywhere from the world. They all are sailing the same route. And on these ships they're going to be, it's just be work about climate and about everything, world population, everything. And on each ship there needs to be lists and lists of the work and jobs what people can go into. So kids are going to be walking around with, I didn't know you could do that. That sounds good. I'm going to look into, you know, give them something to go for. Can you imagine 25,000 kids a month embarking on these exploration, education explorers embarking on 25,000 every month. When one comes back, another one goes. What would it be like? They'll be coming back, telling their families, telling their friends. And then schools have to pick up on this. It has to be coming to school curriculum that they do the same thing. It has to be part of every school then. But these kids are going out, and it all has to be, the top billionaires build them and fund them for the first 5 years. Now here's the interesting part. Where does it get paid for then? Now what I'm going to say is this. If people, millionaires, billionaires, businesses want to justify themselves, above and beyond what any taxes anybody pays, they commit to 1% of the net earnings into one fund, the Education Explorer Fund. Everybody. And let me tell you this, businesses and rich people more harm not to than to do it. 1% each year of your net earnings. Can you imagine this, right? Let's take Amazon for a start. After 5 years, they fund these ships, the top billionaires, and then it's down to what's gone into these funds. Jeff Bezos, Amazon, sells millions of products all over the world. It gives people a chance to be able to say, not to say, he's richest man in the world, it gives them a chance to say, I bought from Amazon and I know a small part of that goes into that fund. Indirectly, but it goes into the fund by way of Jeff Bezos has committed to 1% of his net earnings each year. Take a supermarket, Asda, Tesco, anything, on just the same. And basically, in all their advertisements, they say, we are committed and we are part of Education Explorer Fund. We commit 1% of our net earnings. Now, wouldn't you want to be a part of that? It'd do you more damage not to than to be on it. Rock stars, pop stars, film stars, anybody can commit to it. 1%. 1%. Not a tax. You just sign up to it. You don't want governments involved. Let's just forget governments. The only thing we're going to want from governments is these children is the right to dock anywhere in this world and to cross any international waters. That's the only thing you want to ask from a government. These ships aren't for governments, they're for children to learn and they're going to help us in future and to save this planet. And that's what they're going to be for. Not for governments, no government people on them, no, don't want anything off the government. All we want is these ships. Now this funding, you imagine, let's just say Asda, when you put your adverts on, you tell people, and that's what you get out of it. It's the biggest advertising in the world to say, you're part of this funding, you're sending kids off. I mean, you imagine these kids, 25,000 a year, just on and on and on. Can you imagine if everybody was signing up to it? Film stars, rock stars, businesses, plus anybody from Joe Public can go into any bank or on the phone, put something in funds. But businesses, individuals who are so wealthy, if you want to justify your wealth without being embarrassed about it, sign up to it. Be on this list. And that list then goes on everybody's computer. There's no, all it says is Education Explorer Fund and your name's on it. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, just say for instance Tom Hanks, film star, Asda, supermarket, like that. And you're proud to be on it. I'll tell you what, people would clamour to be on it because it'd do more harm not to be on it than to be on it. If you want to show you're doing something for humanity and for children and for people at future, there's no better way, really, is there? And after 5 years of funding by these billionaires, then they start using the funds. There'll be enough money to buy more ships and more kids. And it might be hundreds of years down the line, but if you imagine these kids have been going and going and going. The word is spread more and more. It's the biggest thing that's ever been embarked on by humanity. And it doesn't even take a government to get involved. We don't want governments involving. It wants a board of about 30 board members. And I mean, I tell you what a great start would be. Greta Thunberg, chairman. I mean, I'd like to see somebody like Mark Carney, who I follow a lot. I think he's a great person and knowledgeable. But these board members are paid $75,000, chairman $100,000. None of this $500,000, 800 grand, like that Miliband and that, 800 grand. They all. Do you know what gets me with charities? All CEOs and chairmans, they're on these catastrophic amounts of money. They're there to get, not to fucking give. And do you know what they say? We can command that if we go into the city. Well, fuck off into the city, because there'll be people clamouring to go on this board, and they'll be clamouring to be a director of it, and a chairman of it, for 100 grand. It's about give, not fucking take. Now you imagine, and that's all it was. I can't sort logistics out like that. I'm just talking about in general, but your people like Gates, Bezos, these are people who can sort these logistics out. They've got the brains to do it, they've got the backing to do it, and they've got, more than anything, they've got the wealth. So, end result, 250 ships from all, you might have 10 going from America, you might have 10 from Russia, you might have 5 from Australia, 5 from Britain, 25 from Europe, Indonesia. And the thing with schools, 20 kids from 14 to 16 will be chosen. Every school in the world, the poor, everybody, there's no exceptions. Everybody can be on this list, and schools will be just chosen. It'll be left at schools to choose who goes. 20 people a time from a school. But as I say, can you imagine, as these kids are growing up and growing up and growing up and growing up, building a better fucking globe for us all to live on. Russians, Americans, Australians, Indonesians, Japanese, Chinese, everybody. All with one common purpose. But you imagine if you're a film star or a business and you're on that list and you said you'll sign up to 1% of your net earnings each year. And let's not forget, most people who can do that are still wealthy people. But them's heroes, them's new heroes, them's new Bezos, Gates, that new founding fathers, not of America, that founding fathers of the world. That's who we want to build.